Hey kids, today we're going to talk about colors. It's going to be super fun, except if you're colorblind, then I guess, fuck you or whatever. We're going to talk about colors and why everyone should have them, and not just an exclusive group of fucking billionaires who have just come up with a color, which first of all, they didn't even invent it. You mix colors and all colors already exist. So how are people just inventing colors and they are getting them? And it's absolute bullshit. What's up, guys? It's episode 85. I don't know what's going on with my voice today. It's a little crackly. Kitty, come back. Kitty, come back. Any kind of goodie. There was something and everything about you. Kitty, come back. Episode 85. I think it's episode 85. I always get confused on the number. I hosted Nickelodeon trivia last night at Craft House, like I teased last week, and it was super, super fun, and a lot of people did really well. Thank you for coming out to that. I almost brought my Kids' Choice Award to put on my table where I was doing all the grading of the trivia sheets. But then I'm like, if that breaks, I'll never get another one. This needs to stay in my house. I can't just call up the Kids' Choice Awards and be like, hey, so I took my Kids' Choice Award to a brewery, and some drunk people, and maybe the drunk people were me, I don't know, but it got knocked onto the ground somehow and broke in half. So can I have another one? It's not really how it works. They're not just gonna mail me another one. So I'm like, okay, maybe I won't take my Kids' Choice Awards places. Hey, what's up? What's up with the Spirit Halloween orange? What is going on with the Spirit Halloween orange? That's the most that's the most orangest orange I've ever seen in my life. It's so bright. It's blinding. This is not a normal color. This is some kind of the Spirit Halloween people have been selling so much demonic shit in their, since being a store that they made a deal with the devil where they're we need the brightest orange on planet Earth. We need the brightest orange in the universe. We need it to stop traffic. We need it to make drivers swerve off the road violently. We need car crashes happening because our orange is so bright. Dog, it's so bright, it's not even backlit. It's in the middle of the day. There's no lights lighting it up. It's not like an LED screen. It's brighter than the sun. You can't look at a Spirit Halloween sign because you're going to damage your eyesight. That's what they need to start teaching in preschool. Don't look at the sun. Don't look at Spirit Halloween signs. It's too orange. It's too bright. It's the brightest color. And I know runners, right? I know runners. Runners wear the brightest colors because they don't want to get hit by cars. Hey, Spirit Halloween, are you trying not to get hit by cars? Well, too late, because it's blinding us and we're swerving all over the road. I'm just saying it's a crazy orange, and I can't get over it. And is it a proprietary orange? Because I was watching F1 the other day, because I'm a big F1 fan. Go Max. And they keep talking about this papaya orange. McLaren is the orange team, and they have this, I guess it's a proprietary orange that they call papaya, and it's their very special color that they have. And I'm like, okay, you guys want a color, good for you. Cool, fun. But then at one point, one of the drivers, Lando Norris, who drives for McLaren, he was standing giving an interview, and he had a McLaren hat on and his McLaren suit on, and they were two different papaya oranges. And I'm like, guys, make up your mind. If you want a color, you got to use that color all the time. And then that made me look into it further. It made me do some further research. It made me do some deep diving. It made me put on my scuba suit. It made me put on my flippers, and it made me go pshoo and do a deep dive. And this is a thing. Companies own colors, which is crazy to me, because even back in the days of MS Paint, right? When you're a kid and you finally get access to your parents' computer, what are you going to do? You're going to play Minesweeper, even though you don't know the rules, and you still don't know the rules. You've never known them. But when you win, it feels really good. You're like, I don't even know how I did that. It's a little bit like life. I feel like Minesweeper is a perfect just metaphor for life. Like no one really knows the rules, and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and you have really no idea why either of those happened. But sometimes you get that smiley face with the sunglasses, and then you have a good day. Or you explode. So you get access to your parents' computer, you play Minesweeper, you don't know what you're doing. You play solitaire, and you win one every 300 games. And you try to play Free Cell, and you kind of get the hang of it, but you win about once every 800 times. And then you try to play Hearts. Hearts is on there too. And then you're like, forget all of this. I'm going to play that Space Pinball. Do you remember the Space Pinball? That was the best computer game. It was awesome. What was I talking about? Yeah. So you get access to your parents' computer. After you get done playing all of the games, what do? You open Microsoft Paint. This was the first ever. Paint walked so that Photoshop could run, okay? We'd be nowhere. Graphic design would be nothing without Microsoft Paint. Just all the insane. You know what the best thing to do in Microsoft Paint was? You'd open the program and you'd get the pen tool out. And you'd pick a color, you'd be like green. Okay, I'm going to draw with green. And you would just draw a big squiggly, and the lines would cross over each other, and it would just be a big squiggle. And then what do you do? What do you do next after you created the squiggle? That's right, you grab the paint bucket, and you pick a color with the paint bucket, and then you just go in to all the little sections that you created with your lines overlapping, and then you just start filling in all of the gaps with your paint bucket. And at the end, you're like, this is art. I've done art. Look at this art. And then you save it on your parents' desktop, and they're like, what is this? Why are they doing that? Yeah. So even back in the day, the early days of the internet, we had MS Paint, and we had the color dropper where you could just open the spectrum of colors, and you could just, and it was, you know what I'm talking about. It was like every color under the sun. There's like the little slider of like, what you want, some greens, you want some oranges, you want some papayas, you want some Spirit Halloween oranges. What do you want? Pick one. And you got the little color dropper, and you could find the color you wanted because it had all the colors in the world, because it's science or something. So I don't understand how people are inventing new colors, because people are inventing new colors. And I don't get it, because isn't it just science of like the right amount of every color combined with another amount of every color? Yeah, we're talking about colors. You know what? Welcome to kindergarten. We're talking about colors today. So I was doing some deep diving research, and it is absolutely totally a thing that rich companies trademark colors. What? You get a color? Stop. Okay. So the first one, all right, we're gonna go through this. I'm gonna list some companies who have trademarked a color because they're pretentious, and you can't use that color anymore. They're gonna come after you. Tiffany & Co. So yeah, Tiffany, the expensive jewelry brand, they have that beautiful teal. It's called Pantone 1837, so pretentious. Registered for packaging, boxes, and bags, and standardized with Pantone. I don't know what that is. Is that a shampoo? It sounds like a shampoo. But yeah, so Tiffany's like, this is our teal, and you can't have it. Okay. Owens Corning Pink. First U.S. company to trademark a single color. Covers the pink color of fiberglass insulation. Oh. Is that why insulation is pink? Hey, insulation shouldn't be pink. You know why? Because it looks like cotton candy. And as a kid, I'm like, that's cotton candy and I should eat it. My parents are like, no, absolutely not. This is why you're homeschooled, because you're an idiot. Please do not eat the insulation. You will die. Interesting. Okay, I've never heard of Owens Corning. Owens Corning sounds like a corn company. It's like we're corning some corn over here. So they have pink. They have the pink color of fiberglass insulation. Good for them. Next one, UPS Pullman Brown. They get that brown? That's not even like a special brown. It's just brown. Protected for delivery services, trucks, uniforms, branding as a color mark. Dang. Okay, UPS. You're like, we want brown. You picked the worst color, by the way. At least pink and teal and papaya and so bright orange that it's going to blind you. At least those are interesting colors. You picked brown. Good job. John Deere. Oh, I should have known this one. John Deere green and yellow? Oh, the green and yellow combo. Oh, they want two. Oh, you guys want two colors. The greediness. I mean, that is fair. You see some construction equipment, you see that green, and you're like, that's John Deere. They have definitely brainwashed us through the years that if you see anything that's big and has claws and could like rip your house apart, that's John Deere. But I guess they want green and yellow. Green and yellow combo, registered color combo on agricultural equipment. A 2017 federal ruling affirmed the mark's fame and enforceability. Okay, so someone questioned it in 2017 and they're like, overruled. Yes, you can do it. That's crazy. T-Mobile, magenta. Okay, I guess it's kind of a unique magenta color. I do like that T-Mobile just went like, we're pink. Like the insulation, we're pink. Like, we're going to be pink. Girls are going to love us. Registered and actively enforced. Protection varies by region. Christian Louboutin, red lacquered soles. Protected only when the red sole contrasts with the upper. So specific. So the soles of the shoes of Christian Louboutin shoes it's red, and if any other company does red soles, then they're gonna come after them. Okay. What else? I don't know some of these companies. Fiskars? What is that? Orange scissor handles. The iconic orange handle cover is a registered mark for its scissors. Oh, look, we all had orange scissors growing up. That makes sense. People like orange. Look at this. Home Depot orange. Protected prominently. Can I start again? Protected prominently in design marks. So you got Home Depot. You got the Fiskars. It sounds like Friskies. I don't know. I think this is a cat company. You got Fiskars orange scissor handles. You got the orange Spirit Halloween. People just want orange. People are all about this orange. Hermes, orange box, color mark protecting the signature orange on packaging in specific classes. They also want orange. All these guys want orange. That's crazy. I just don't think people should be able to have colors. I think that we should all get them. Did you hear about the story? And then that made me think of this story that's been going around about the blackest black. The blackest black. The blackest black. vantablack was developed by Surrey Nanosystems for aerospace and optics. Artist Anish Kapoor secured exclusive rights to use it in art. Okay, wait. So did Anish, did they develop the color? Wait. It was developed for aerospace optics. No. The color was developed by Surrey Nanosystems. But then this artist was like, it's mine now, and secured the exclusive rights to use it in art. Dude, he didn't even come up with it. Use in art, which upset a lot of artists who felt no one should lock down a color material like that. Yes, thank you. In response, and this is where there was a slapback, which I really enjoy. In response, artist Stuart Semple released The Pinkest Pink. What do you got to say about that, Corning Insulations? What's it called? Owens Corning. What do you got to say about that? Stuart Semple came up with The Pinkest Pink, and you can buy it only if you can confirm you're not Kapoor or buying it for him. It became a viral art world clapback. That is really funny. The feud escalated. Kapoor once posted a photo of his middle finger dipped in pink. This is the weirdest feud. This is like the most kindergarten feud I've ever heard of. Like somebody has like Tutti Frutti pink and somebody has like burnt sienna, and they're on the playground just like, you can't use my Tutti Frutti pink. Yeah, well, you can't use my burnt sienna. And now they're just like fighting. That's so insane, fighting over colors as grown adults. It's so insane. I wonder if the Nickelodeon orange is proprietary. I mean, it's a pretty well-known orange. But anyway, you guys didn't come here to talk about colors. I did. But trivia went really well last night. You guys really enjoyed the trivia episode that I did last week. You totally followed instructions. I was like, if you enjoy this trivia episode, please drop I said Ferris wheel. I think Ferris wheel in the comments. And the funny thing is I forgot that I said that. And I was going through the comments and I'm like, why is everyone posting Ferris wheels? I'm like, oh yeah, I told them to do that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that episode. And I'm definitely going to do more of those. Maybe next week. Maybe every other week. Maybe it's an every other week thing. You guys liked it enough. I really enjoy it. You guys were stoked about me doing Halloween Town. I don't know why I was so fascinated with Halloween Town. That movie just like blew my mind. It was like my favorite Disney Channel original movie. And there's so much to be made fun of now watching it back. And I can't wait to relive all of that. Next week. Maybe I'll do it next week. Get people excited for Halloween, do some spooky movies in October. But yeah, I got to host trivia last night and it was a lot of fun. And I thought that I came up with I thought all the questions I came up with were super easy. And then I asked Sean and he was like, I don't know any of these. So I'm like, oh no, I was freaking out before trivia. I'm like, am I like just such a big nerd that I'm too close to it. In fact, I think I'm going to ask you guys a couple of these. Look, we did all that behind the scenes fun facts last week. I'm going to actually ask you guys some trivia. Oh, this is going to be fun. Let me bring it up. Play TJ Maxwell. I'm trying to find it.
Amazing gifts arrive right up till the 24th. And the prices? Well, that's a whole other reason to go back
every day.
You should go.
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys some trivia questions, and I'm going to go to the hardest round because there's a lot here that I think there's all that questions. There's Nicktoons questions. I'm going to start with the hardest round, and I'm not going to tell you the answers. I'm just going to ask you guys the questions, and you think about it. You tell me in the comments if you knew all of them. All right, on Double Dare, what object was always hidden inside the giant nose? Do you remember that as a kid? You're watching Double Dare and just, I have vivid memories of kids just rummaging around in the nostrils of that big giant nose. I didn't watch Double Dare too much. It was okay. It was just like too messy for me. And I don't know. I just like, I'm like, this is families working together. My family would never do this. Like, this is not. I guess it was different, right? There was Double Dare and then there was Family Double Dare. No, my family would just be at each other's throats if we were trying to do that. It would not be PC enough for television. It would just be swearing. They're just bleeping it. Okay, so you guys remember rummaging in the nostrils? All right, what item were they looking for? All right, this is easy. What game show featured a talking head, a giant talking stone head named Olmec? Yeah, you guys know that one. What mountain did contestants climb in the final round of Nickelodeon Guts? What was that big mountain called? Do you remember? This was one of my favorites. Name at least 2 team names from Legends of the Hidden Temple. Can you remember them? There were, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6 of them. They were all a color and an animal. And I'll give you one of them. One of them was the Blue Barracudas. That was always my favorite. See if you guys can name any more. In Figure It Out, what actress and former Olympic swimmer hosted the show? Do you remember? She was hot, man. She was hot. I wanted to be on Figure It Out so badly. And it ended the year before I got my position on all that. I was devastated. I watched so much Figure It Out. And I really thought I would do well on it. But that was actually one of the things I was most excited for when they called and they were like, you got it, you're on all that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in the Nickelodeon family. I can be on Figure It Out. That was one of my first thoughts when I booked the role. But then upon asking everybody further, they're like, no, Figure It Out just got canceled. It's not happening anymore. And I was like, no. Missed my opportunity by like 6 months. In Legends of the Hidden Temple, what 3-piece statue puzzle in the temple often stumped players? Can you remember? I don't think anyone got it right. And that was shocking to me because it's cemented in my brain, screaming at my television. This is how watching Legends of the Hidden Temple went for all of us, right? Okay. Sorry. We turn on our TV. We go to Nickelodeon. At the time, we didn't really have like the guide. We didn't know what was happening. You just turn it on. Whatever's on, you watch. And you hope to God it's not Nick News. You turn on Nickelodeon, hope to God it's not Nick News. And then whatever's on, you hope it's something you like. Whenever it was Legends of the Hidden Temple, stoked, man. Stoked out of my mind. Yes. Yes. Love Aztec. Love Olmec. Love this giant stone statue with the big lips talking to me and saying things in his deep, low voice. This is how it went. You get pumped up. You're like, who are the teams this week? Oh, we got some blue barracudas. Yes, this is going to be awesome. They would high five. They would miss each other like half the time. And you're like, it's okay. I still believe in them. It's going to be great. And then they'd start like this trivia round. And let me tell you, I didn't ever know like any of them. I don't know, man. You'd watch and you'd be like, yeah, this is like Jeopardy for kids. You're just like, yes, here we go. I'm smart. And then you get 7 questions in and you haven't got one. You're like, maybe I would do well at the physical part. Maybe the questions are not really where I would shine. But it's cool. And then you have that moment where you're like, I'm dumb. And then they get to the physical challenges and you're like, I could totally do this. And one after one, the kids are like struggling and you're just like, come on, I could totally do that. You guys suck, whatever. And it was fine. And then you got to the big ending, which was kind of like this like mouse trap type of like, it was like a course for rodents. You had to crawl up things. You had to crawl through tunnels. You had to go through doors. You had to like get to the center area of this maze. I have not seen the show in many years, by the way. This is just how I remember it. And as you're going through the maze, I think like top 5 most traumatizing things that you've ever seen in your life happens. And you know what I'm talking about. It's the temple guards. That's where your confidence being at home fades a little bit, right? You're looking at the TV, you're like, I could totally do this. And then these kids will go through a door, they'll round a corner, trying to solve these puzzles, and a temple guard, a half-naked, large man in a grass skirt and headdress, jumps out of a door. Oh my gosh. Scariest thing, swear, I absolutely peed my pants, like on several occasions. Just like a little bit, right? Don't be gross. Scared me. Absolutely scared me. Just the jump scare. We don't need jump scares in a Nickelodeon trivia show. The temple guards were scary, and I will die on that hill. I will die on the hill that the temple guards were terrifying. They were like twice as big as the kids. Like, this is so scary. So then you're at home and you're like, I'm glad that's not me. Then if the kids are lucky and they get to the center, I'm going to spoil it right now. It is the Shrine of the Silver Monkey, right? Now I'm doubting myself. Yes, of course. I'm like, I'm fully confident in this. Am I? Yes, Shrine of the Silver Monkey. It's only like a 3-piece puzzle. And the kids struggled with it every week. Every week, these kids struggle with the Shrine of the Silver Monkey, and it doesn't look that hard. How can it be that hard? It is 3 pieces. How can they not do it? That's when you start screaming at your TV again, and you're like, what are you doing? I would like them to, do they sell a replica of the Shrine of the Silver Monkey, just like for people like us, that we can just like buy one on Amazon and just like try it ourselves? Because I just cannot fathom that it's that hard. But they made it look so hard every week. It's just like, I hope I'm unlocking a part of your memory with this, because it's so vivid in my mind. The temple guards jumping out, the Shrine of the Silver Monkey that no one could do, the kids mostly missing their high fives. I remember all of this. All right, next. What messy physical challenge game show was hosted by Mark Summers? I would have accepted 2 answers. There's 2 shows that Mark Summers hosted that were both very messy. I would accept both answers. By the way, if you're gonna comment with the answers in the chat, don't Google it. Don't Google it. The people at trivia last night couldn't Google it. They had just used their own brain. Just Google themselves in their own head, right? Don't look it up. Just see if you know it. Next, how many members were in the Midnight Society on Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's just a number. Just pick a number. And also, this was another one that made so many people mad last night because they couldn't remember it, but they've all heard it. As soon as I read this question, there was like 10 people that just like grabbed their head, just like, what is it? What phrase did the kids use to begin each story on Are You Afraid of the Dark? Do you remember what the phrase was? Do you remember it? Did I just unlock another section of your memory? It's a very specific phrase. And yeah, it's going to drive you crazy all day. If it's driving you crazy, just Google it. I said don't Google it, but you can Google it. Next, what was Stick Stickly made out of? And I was going to give like massive bonus points to anybody who could like repeat the P.O. box that Stick Stickly would say. I can't even remember it, but it was like something, New York. He would always say it in that inflection. I know it was in New York. It was a P.O. box, New York. Don't remember the numbers, but yeah, vividly remember those commercials with Stick Stickly. And finally, I said in Nickelodeon Guts, what did contestants receive if they won? Do you remember what they won? So that was just one round of the trivia questions that I asked last night. People had a great time. That was probably the hardest round. But for me, that round was super easy. So I didn't really know how to gauge people's knowledge of Nickelodeon. Like, am I just a freak? Is this common knowledge? I don't know. But we had a great time, and they made a special slime seltzer at the brewery just for the game show last night. And it had like this slime ooze on the top that was like dripping down. It was so good. And then that led one of the players to ask me if I had ever been slimed. And then I got to tell my slime story, and I will tell that to you right now. I'm sure some of you have heard it before, but I'll just say it again just because it's a fun story. I was sick of being a redhead on all that for the first 3 seasons. I was a redhead, and I just kind of got tired of it. I wanted a change. I wanted to be different. And so I dyed my hair like really bright blonde, and Nickelodeon approved it, which is crazy. They're like, yeah, sure, you can change your hair if you want. Which part of me wishes that I didn't, because I look back on sketches from season 10 where I was blonde, and I'm not like a huge fan of it, honestly. It was weird to still be Kathy from Sugar and Coffee with blonde hair instead of red hair. I didn't really think about that, and I wish I would have, because I feel like it kind of took away from the character. It just like wasn't the same. I don't know. And even Heather Darling from Together Forever, like, I don't know. It just, I didn't take that into consideration. I was just being kind of selfish, where I just wanted to mix up my look because I was a teenager, and that's what teenagers do. But I kind of wish I hadn't. I wish I would have just stuck with the red. Blonde Lisa didn't really work for me. But yeah, my last season 10 of all that, I dyed my hair like super bright blonde. And once again, I got slimed. I think it was for a promo for the Kids' Choice Awards. And once I got slimed, the slime sat on my hair for like an hour, because it was like, we got to do another take. We got to do a wrap up take. And then we got to like interview afterward. And then the whole thing. And the green dye just like sat on my hair for so long that when I went to go back to my dressing room and rinse it out of my hair, it had stained my hair the grossest dishwater dirty green color imaginable. In fact, that could have been my proprietary color. I could have trademarked that color. Never seen that color in my life before. It was so gross. It was just like a gallon of green dye that sat on blonde hair, rinsed out. It was like brownish. It was greenish. It was yellowish. It was like just all the colors of like a bad bruise. It was so ugly, and it was on my head, and I was wearing it around. And I freaked out, and we sent pictures to Nickelodeon, and they were like, oh my God, you can't look like that. I'm like, I agree. And then thankfully they paid for me to get my hair touched up and re-dyed. But man, that could have been my signature color. I could have just kept that hair color. Just awful, terrible, awful and terrible, but unique. It's my color. But yeah, getting slimed was always really fun, because it was so gross and messy and really hard to rinse off, because yes, it stained your skin, and it stained your fingernails, and it's stained your hair, stained your clothes, stained everything. But there's just something special about it, because I grew up watching kids get slimed. I grew up watching Figure It Out. And when you did the secret slime action and that slime comes raining down, you get so excited. So disappointing when you'd watch an episode of Figure It Out and nobody does the secret slime action. remember at some point, at one point, they made them so easy. There were some really hard secret slime actions that, yeah, you'd go full episode and nobody would do the action. But then there was other times where like, the secret slime action is breathing. And you're like, oh, they're all breathing. And you'd love it as a kid because the second the round would start, everybody would get slimed for breathing. And so that was always just, it felt like a rite of passage. When I first joined Nickelodeon, I was like, I can't wait to get slimed. I can't wait to get slimed. It was way too long until I got slimed. Because we did a lot of messy stuff on all that, but not like the proper sliming. That was more of a promo thing, Nickelodeon did for the more, game show type stuff, commercials, it's kind of like outside the shows themselves. And I remember finally, Jack too, we were so excited to get slimed. And finally when it happened, we were just like, oh, like we have been baptized by the Church of Nickelodeon. Oh, we were so happy. Like we heard now we have been cleansed. We've been cleansed. We are part of the family officially. And that was always fun. And they always had different consistencies. I know that there's some channel on YouTube, I think, that goes through like the slime recipe or talks about it, or people have told me about that. All I know is they always told me it was vanilla pudding was like the biggest ingredient, but if they wanted to be more booger-like and have more texture, they would use tapioca pudding. Those were always like, I could always tell whether it was like the tapioca slime or the vanilla pudding slime. Always tasted pretty good. It's gonna stain your tongue green, but it tasted fine. But yeah, so that was just a really fun thing I got to do last night and ask people some Nickelodeon trivia. In fact, I think I'm going to ask you guys the tiebreaker questions because I didn't get to ask these ones last night, and I was excited about these. The first tiebreaker question was, in the secret world of Alex Mack, what unusual power did Alex have when exposed to chemicals? Do you remember what her secret power was? I do. And then I also had Kids' Choice Award winners receive an orange blimp trophy. What is inside of it? I've showed you guys before. Do you remember what's inside of this trophy? Remember what's inside of it? Every once in a while, somebody who wins it up on stage will look through it and comment on it. But yeah. And then the other question, which I didn't know, how tall in feet was the aggro crag on Guts? It says 28 feet. I don't know if that's true or not. I just spoiled that one, but I have no idea. Is there actual record that it's 28 feet? Yeah, so it was a lot of fun reminiscing last night and talking about, do you remember Hey Dude? Do you remember Salute Your Shorts? I was going back and talking about old Pete and Pete episodes. It was just really fun to go back and remember all of those Nickelodeon shows. I had a whole Nicktoons round where it was just Nicktoons questions. But yeah, I'm really excited to do more trivia episodes of the show. That is absolutely coming. Halloween's going to be fun. But thank you guys so much for coming back. I'm sorry that all I did today was just talk about colors and get mad about colors and then throw questions at you. I hope you had fun. But anyway, love you guys. Bye. Spoiler, it's a kaleidoscope. You want to see? Wow, look at that.